What is up, everybody? It is DJ Martini Midwest Reviews coming at you with another video for my channel. Today we have a really good one. We're going to be talking about that Exoton EP-210, which is basically a 10-inch passive speaker setup with an 8-channel mixer amp. And so it's very portable. It looks very cool. There's some past ones that have been made in the past by JBL, maybe Fender, or even Yamaha, who had kind of a similar version but didn't kind of connect all like this. But yeah, I really liked some of those in the past, but I was never had the opportunity or money at the time to pick anything up. I saw this one for around $300 and I said I had to pick it up and try it out, bring it to you guys and let you know what I think of it. So that's what we're going to be looking at, the EP-210. Hopefully you guys can leave some comments, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Just know that I'm here to do the research for you, give it to you as easy as possible, and then leave some links in case you're interested in some of the products that we talk about. So thank you so much. Join the Martini Nation. I love doing reviews. I love making content. So please, let's continue to grow this channel so I can continue to do that for you guys. All right. Other than that, I'm going to get into, if you didn't already watch the unboxing on this bad boy, go back, check that out. I'm not going to get into depth of what's in the box again. I'm just going to show you really quick what is in the box. And so in the box, you will get the instructions, of course. You will get a 20-foot XLR to mono cable here. So you get the female side right here. Yeah. And you get that nice, long, thick, nice cable. You do get a microphone as well. Microphone looks nice, has their Exoton logo. Like I said, XLR on the bottom. Nice on and off switch. Works pretty good. We'll go through that here a little bit later. Like I said, the instruction booklet, a little thin, but it works. It gives you the information that you need. Not too bad there. You do get some cables. I'll show you in a little bit because they're actually inside this bad boy. And then you get some stands. Here's the stands that you will get. Nice logo. Not very tall. You can see I'm about 6 foot. This one's probably a little bit less than that, probably around, I don't know, 5 foot. And with the speaker on there, you might get to a little bit over 6 foot, but they're actually pretty short stands and they're kind of skinny. So I'm not a big fan of them, but they would work if you need them. And it's nice that they come with them. So I'll put it for that way. All right. Other than that, that's all that's in the box. You will need some other cables to be hooking things up with this system because it's a little bit different. So we're going to talk about that. We're definitely going to talk about how to set this up because I know a lot of people ask me and I'm here to help. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to help you guys. So we're going to get this taken apart here so I can show you a little bit more about the speakers as well. So it does come in this cool little setup. And like I said, there's some other setups that have done this before, like JBL and Fender and things like that. But you just push this top button here. I'm almost taking my table out. It does weigh 53 pounds, so it does have some weight to it. But there is just a button on top. We're going to push that and you can see that comes on. So if you notice, I had my hand here and it will just drop off. It's not going to like fall off completely, but it will drop. So make sure you're prepared for that. But there is one speaker. I think that looks pretty good. We're gonna get closer in a second. And then you want to do that with the other one. So you just press that latch button, like I said, right on the top, and it's gonna kind of detach. And then you can just spin it on the bottom there. And then we have our middle amp section right here. So pretty cool so far. I like the setup. Very, very portable, very easy to use. You saw how easy that was to get the speakers out. You saw how easy that, setting up a tripod would be. Very easy. I mean, yeah. They sway a little bit. And so I might use like a more full-size tripod. It's a little bit bigger size tripod, a little thicker, they're a little higher, those types of things. I might use something like that you can buy relatively inexpensively, but these do work. So I will do that, but I do like the speakers. We'll go ahead and bring those up forward for you. You can see the speakers here. Very, very nice. Exoton logo, black and gray. I kind of like that look. Do have nice little rubber stops here on the back. It's just a passive speaker with a quarter jack on the back. You see you have the bottom. You have, your normal size tripod place, but you do have, rubber stops on the bottom and everything. But you could use these for like monitors as well. So you can set them on their side. You can put them on a table. You could set them on the floor, you could put them on the patio, wherever you want to put them. They're going to go pretty well. But they do come with those tripods, like I said. The only thing I don't like with the tripods, I already like scraped this one up pretty good. Just tightening the it up on it, and you can see how scarred up it got really quickly. So all right, so we're going to go ahead and open the back here, and you kind of just have to pull it. There's a little notch where you can just pull it. And look, there's what we got, all our cables. We have our quarter jack cables right here, mono for the speakers. So we're going to hook that up in a second. And then we have our plug-in cable right here, just your regular 3-prong outlet that goes right here. So here's our front, and then we can put that back in. So you do have nice little storage in there, and it has enough room to put some other cables in there as well. And all right, let's take a look at the amp right here, and we'll get closer to this, but I just want to give you a quick look at this. There's your plug-in in the back and your quarter jack. Here, we're going to go ahead and show you a couple things. I have a mixer here, or a controller here. I'm going to show you how to hook it up via that. It would be a great little setup for this little mini system. But I just want to show you the back really quick, how we got it hooked up. Because I know I got asked, but we have the two mono cables right here, left and right. Just make sure you go to left and right. We have it plugged in right here. There's an on and off switch on the back here. And notice there's a lip here. That's what's going to keep this off the table a little bit. So it's not going to pinch your cables on the bottom. So that's good as well, actually. So you can lay it flat and it'll work kind of like a mixer as well, because that's kind of what it is. Then you just got to plug it in. Then go ahead and plug it into your speakers. So we got one hooked into the speaker right here. Yes. One plugged into the speaker right there via quarter jack. So let's get back to here, finish showing you how to hook this up. So there's a lot of different ways you can hook it up. So if you were using a controller, say like this Denon DJ Mini here, the Prime Go, you could definitely just go quarter jack to quarter jack right in here. You could do a dual quarter jack to a single quarter jack right here. So there's all kinds of ways. You can go XLR to quarter jack right here, dual. But in this instant, I'm just going to tell you the easiest way that I would do it is just straight RCA, boom, RCA right here, and then RCA right into your inputs right here. And this is an output right here. So output, input, these are input quarter jacks for the channel 5.6. And then you have single combo jacks, quarter jack or XLR for each channel here, which could be for instruments or microphones. So that is how I would do a controller like this. I'm going to put this to the side real quick without breaking it. And then I will show you a laptop, or if you had like a phone or something you wanted to hook up. This has USB Type-C, and a cable that I just picked up, which would be very helpful in this, is this cable right here. And it's just a mono quarter jack, which I can go into any channel here, and then I can go right into USB Type-C. Very, very cool. I'll leave a link for this because that is a time savior right there. Okay, so this would be hooked up, no problem sound, and you get perfect clear sound in there. Now you could also use that same cable for something like a cell phone or something. But you can see, but this is the same kind of cable, USB Type-C, but to the dual, so you could go into left and right here. Now you're still going to get left and right here, but like I said, this is just a single channel made for inputs and like instruments or microphones. But I'm going to tell you a reason why you might want to use these a little bit more in just a second. All right, so hopefully I showed you guys how to do that. Next, you're going to say, where do I hook a microphone up to? So you're going to hook your microphone up like this. You have XLR. Make sure that clicks. Then you're going to just go ahead and plug that right into any of these channels. It can be any one of these. We'll go into 3 here, just so we know our channel 1's music. We know channel 3 is microphone, and we have on and off here. Then we have a plugged in. Like I said, we would be hooked up to whether that be a cell phone, a tablet, a laptop. Like I said, I showed you how to get that done. We're hooked up. Now, there's all other kinds of cables. If you just had a 3.5 millimeter jack, you didn't have some special cables. They make these little adapters. I know a lot of people have those, but if you just had 3.5, you could still use this right into the 3.5 millimeter slot on your laptop where your earphone bud or earphone headphone jack is, right there. And then you could just buy another little adapter like this, and it can go onto the other side, and then you can go right into one of those channels as well, like in those quarter jack. But it has to be a mono jack like this to go into these channels here. On the RCAs or the quarter jacks, it could be whatever, but it has to be mono to go into one of these. And let's see. So this is the difference. So you can see the two bands on there, stereo, and then switching it to just one band, mono. So that's what I'm talking about there. So, but all kinds of cables, you just have to find the right one. I always have to say that because I have a lot of people asking me questions on hookup. So now you just got to make sure that you have the correct volume. So this is plugged into this, and I would, instead of a mic, you want line. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure I have a line here. I'm going to turn my volumes up a little bit here. I don't want any effect. This is your effect line right here. And then I have my volumes up too. And then this is your 5-band EQ, yeah, right here. And like I said, you can adjust that to however you want it as well, because it will work with this as well. So you get a little bit more. You're going to get treble and bass as well with these, plus the 5-band EQ. If you're in 5 and 6, you're just going to get the EQ. You don't get extra bass or treble. And I think you can add a little bit more bass with the extra. That's why I was talking about I like to use these, because you do get extra treble and bass with these. You do have phantom power right here. It's a little button. You do have your UV meters here. You do have the master volume right here, so we can turn that up a little bit. And then you do have your volume for this channel right here. So if you're using the 5.6, this is your volume for that channel right there. You do have monitor out, so you can, like I said, if you had a little adapter like this with a 3.5, you could plug in any headphones to this, and then you could monitor with headphones with this channel. You could also use this output as to hook it up to a sub. If you wanted to put a subwoofer or a powered subwoofer to this setup, you would just need the right cable. Once again, you got to find the right cable. You need RCAs to XLR or quarter jack or whatever your sub takes, but you just find the right cable, and you could hook a powered sub that you could use for a signal output here. All right. Other than that, like I said, you do have digital effects, your echo, and your depth. If you don't want any of that, you just turn it all the way down, but just depending on what you want. And I think that's about it, guys. You do have your MP3 control. You can hook up a USB and it'll read it for music. And then you do have Bluetooth on this as well, so we can go to Bluetooth.
The benefits of a hot tub
And then you do have FM. Now on the FM, the first time you go to FM, it will start scanning channels. Once, I would tell you to do that. If you do that, do it outside. Take this little unit outside, if you can plug it in outside, or even in your garage with the garage door open, and then let it do the scan in the garage. Because after you do that, it's really hard to get it to do another scan. I was able to figure it out. Basically, I had to kind of like hold a button and then like it did a rescan, but once it finds those channels, they're already programmed. And so then you can go to FM here, turn the volume. See, I have us, and then you can use this to go through the channels. Channel 2, and I think I only picked up like 4 channels in my, yeah, it says 4, but I think it was more like 3. And so I wasn't able to get it to do that. So when you do your scan, do it outside where you can get the best antenna than, in my dark, dingy basement here. So yeah, try to do that outside. Check the microphone, and we have this nice microphone. Actually, it does look pretty cool. And I'll go ahead and turn it on. This is pretty loud. That sounds really good. I think the microphone sounds good. Let's see if it hears the pop. It's not terrible. It's not terrible. It doesn't make a crazy sound, especially when you shut it off. It's perfect, but when you turn it on, if you do it slow, it's not too bad. But not too bad on the microphone. So I think it sounds really good though. Turn the bass down, a little bit more treble. You can put effect on this, like I said, if you wanted to put some echo or some depth on it. Then we go to our effect here. You got your echo right here. More echo, yeah. So it could be used for like karaoke, a little bit more depth. Oh yeah, a little depth. But yeah, so normal voice right here. Turn the echo off. Bass. Want a little bit more bass in my voice. But yeah, I think it works really good. Sounds really good in my opinion. So if you needed like for speeches or things like that, this would be a not bad little system for something like that. We're going to fire a little sound test with this and show you it working through channel 1. I did have to switch my cable here. So like I said, I got my adapter 3.5 with an adapter on mono there. So let's go ahead and fire this up. Yeah. All right, guys, that gives you a little idea. Sorry, not for the best sound test here. It is pretty loud. It does get pretty loud. It does have some volume. Depending on what kind of music you're listening to, the bass is there. Good treble, good for microphone, good for speeches, good for background music, in my opinion. Good for a small venue if you're just playing some music for somebody in a small venue, just as plain music. I wouldn't say like a dance floor, but some people could, but like I said, I think it's just more of a quick setup to play music for even maybe it would work for a small little party, but yeah, I think it's just a great little mini system, great for speeches, like I said, great quick setup. I did want to show you that I think you can get a little bit more when you go into a channel because you get that extra treble and bass setting. If I go into here, I'm going to show that real quick here. Let me turn the volume down here. And I go into the channel 5.6, it's still going to work, but my problem is all right. Now I'm going to continue that. Turn the volume down here. I'm going to continue that in the other channel. Like I said, we're just same song. We're going to continue that in the other channel and see the sound difference here. All right, guys, so you can definitely see that you get more bass, more treble when you hook into a channel. You can see we are getting a little bit more signal as well. So like I said, I don't know if there's something going on there that's a little bit different, or you're just not getting as much power because we don't have the extra bass treble knobs and you're just getting the EQ, but you definitely are getting some more sound from there. So like I said, it's better to go into a channel with your music. You still have 3 more channels for microphones or instruments or anything else, which is good. But I think it just sounds a little bit better and you get a little bit volume with the actual channels, guys. So I'm gonna get you guys on out of here, but first we got to go through pros, cons, and what I think, final thoughts for the unit and who can use it. All right, so can't find this on Amazon. It does get 4.9 stars. It is that $300 price mark, which is pretty good in my opinion. I think for the money that you're getting it with all the accessories and the whole unit itself, thumbs up for me at $300. You get Bluetooth. I don't know exactly what Bluetooth, but it says it has 66 feet of in the line of sight connection. If you're using Bluetooth for music, I'm guessing you're going to be on the table next to it. You're not going to be walking around really. So I think we're pretty good there. 600 watts of pure peak power, but I did find 150 watts RMS. So that's what I believe is about 150 watts RMS. 5-band EQ. It does have depth and echo effect, which is cool. It does have FM radio, which you could play, which is nice for at home or things like that. USB player. So it can play a USB thumb drive or an SD card, and you can, manipulate it, play, pause. It doesn't like record, but you can play any music from those USB sticks or SD cards. It's got a portable design, all hooks together, mobile, all your cables can go in it. Grab it by the handle, take it to wherever you want. Weighs about 53 pounds. So I think that's pretty good even for my bad back. We can still lug it around. 48 volts of phantom power, so you can run it with those condenser mics. Great microphone and decent tripods. We'll talk about that in a second. Accessories all included, which I do like, and the cables work good. The microphone works good. The microphone for the cables, super long. I love all that. So great bonuses with that. And then it was also well packaged. I have to give that to Exoton or Exoton. It was well packaged. It was very clean. I opened it up. The manual's like pristine on top perfectly. Maybe my unit just came in perfect, but it was very impressive. Wouldn't be me if I didn't give you guys a couple cons, and one are those tripods. They're a little bit skinny. They're too short for my opinion. So I'll definitely be using probably the system with something else with some taller tripods, but they're just a little bit wobbly for me, a little bit skinny, those types of things. And I would want something a little bit taller, if you know what I mean. So tripods aren't to my liking, but good enough for the price point that you're getting this for, I guess, in my opinion. The FM works really well if you get a really good signal, but you're not going to pick up too many stations. I don't know if the antenna is not that good or what, but if you do that first initial startup, do it outside in your garage or outside in the sun real quick. Hopefully it's still good weather, and do that outside where you can get the most channels, because once it does that scan, it's really hard. It took me a while, and I still can't tell you, it's not in the instructions, how I figured out how to get it to rescan again. Exoton, if you're out there, let me know how to get it to scan channels again. If you're out there, that way you can let the people know. But so yeah, I can't tell you that. So unfortunately, I figured it out one time, but I don't remember the button combination or if I was just holding the button or something, but I got to do a scan twice, but picked up a couple extra stations, but really it doesn't pick up a lot. But the ones I do pick up, crystal clear. And then the final thing I want to talk about is the 4 channels again. I think it's a positive or a negative depending on where you're looking at, but the 4 channels that you can hook in straight in sound awesome with the EQ as well. But 5 and 6, you only get the EQ. So you only get the 5-band EQ. You don't get an extra bass or treble adjustment for those that channel. And so you get more using channels 1 through 4 than you do 5. I guess if you were just using 5 as background music and you didn't care about extra bass or treble, then it's good with just the EQ. But you do, and since you do have to worry about that, you have to find a cable that's going to be good for your setup. The cable that I used earlier, this one, I tried it and it ends up not working for my iPad. I haven't tried it with the laptop, but it did not work for my iPad. So I don't know if it's a bad cable or what. I will be looking into that here soon, but it does not work. So I had to go back to my other adapter series with my adapter and my adapter for my 3.5, and that works just fine. So I will leave some links for some cables that actually work or adapters that work. So it's a little bit of a pain to just go from dual to single, and I think that's going to be for any controller or those types of things as well. It's going to be hard to find cables for that. You make sure you get the mono, like I said, to go in 1 through 4, but you can, like I said, you can get just cables that would work with the quarter jack or the RCA cables, but you do get a little bit more bass or treble if you use channels 1 through 4. Just putting it out there. Other than that, guys, I showed you hookup. I showed you the sound test. The sound test, in my opinion, we didn't really talk about it, but it's good. Good clarity in the system, honestly. The bass is lacking a little bit, but it's a 10-inch system. It's got thumpy bass like it should, but it doesn't have like that club thump bass. It's not really for that. You could grab a sub and hook it up through that RCA outputs over here. You could do that and add a little bit more, but it's just made more for your background music, in my opinion. Maybe a cafe type gig with some instruments, a speech machine. You could definitely get that done with the microphone. Microphone's super clear. Maybe some karaoke, a little small bar karaoke setup. Yeah, definitely. Thumbs up for that, especially with the depth and the echo effects. Yeah, karaoke can definitely get some stuff done. The Exoton EP-210, it gets a thumbs up from DJ Martini Midwest Reviews. I think it's really, really good. It does have a few quirks to it that you do have to compete with, but really it's pretty easy to use, setup, portable, price point, everything, a lot of things working for it, including that microphone sounds really good as well. So that's all I got for you. This has been the EP-210. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of it. Any pros or cons from you guys, let me know. I'd like to hear them. But I will leave the links for all the devices that I had in this video, including some cables if you need it, in the description. So check that out. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff if this was helpful or fun at all. And I can't wait to see you on my channel, DJ Martini Midwest Reviews, next time. So we'll see you really soon. Catch you later.